AJ Dybantsa is at the Team USA U19 World Cup training camp, and Gavoni is in attendance, tweeting out some clips from this. By all accounts, AJ Dybantsa has been the best player at this event. On three, had a write up. What?
No, you don't say.
All right, let me get through the intro, damn it. He's been incredible as expected. Although there's a lot of great names here. Tyron Stokes is here. I don't know why I'm like talking like this with my hands and my head sideways. There's a lot of guys here that are really good. I don't think it was necessarily a guarantee that Dybantsa would show up and like outperform everybody to the level it has been reported he has. It sounds like if you were writing up your biggest takeaways from this event, which On Three did, everyone that is watching what's happening would come away saying the same thing. Dybantsa's a freak and there's nobody close to him. That was not my expectation coming in with all these 5 stars and prestigious players in the mix. So kudos to him. Gavoni has a clip, though, which is what I want to talk to you about. There's like a 2-minute interview with Gavoni, which I actually laughed last night because, like, it's a great interview. You actually get some really solid insight into AJ's thought process. But by the end of it, it feels like they're just hitting him with like job interview speed run questions. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And AJ's like, And he's like taking time to think about it. I'm going to try and play the first 10 seconds of this because that's the part I'm interested in. This is Gavoni interviewing AJ Dybantsa at the USA camp.
This season.
Can you hear this or no?
Can't right now, no.
No, okay. Yeah, there's too much noise in the background in the gym. I guess that's what I was worried about. He says, what are your goals for next season? AJ says, well, I think there's only one goal, win a national championship. KY last year got to a Sweet 16. That was his first year. Like, we're trying to go past that. That's it. Then the follow-up question right after that basically was, do you want to be the number one pick? Is that also a goal? And AJ goes, well, if I win, I will be.
Facts.
It's a very interesting way to frame the number one pick in the NBA draft conversation. I've never really heard a player say that, but I love the mentality. If I win, I will be the number one pick. And that's how AJ's approaching this season. What do you think of that outlook?
I mean, that I love it. I love everything about it. I love everything about the mindset. The only thing I wish he would have done is I wish he would have addressed Mr. Cavoni directly. Be like, well, you tell me, Jonathan, if I win a national championship, am I going one? You're the Draft Express guy. You take me number one if I win that. But I think that it inherently tells us that he realizes that his success and his goals can be directly affected by what he does this season with BYU, right? I think he knows that BYU needs to be successful and that BYU being successful will inherently help with his own personal success, which I think is 100% correct because I think he's going to be the number one pick no matter what. Don't get me wrong. But if there is a world where where BYU wins a national championship, I don't think there's going to be any discussion on who's picked number one.
Are you doing your bid again without
What?
realizing it?
No, what?
So you have 11 number one teams. Do you have 11 number one players too?
No, I have two number one picks.
Because you think AJ Dybantsa will unquestionably be the number one pick in the draft, but you have Darren Peterson, the number one rated player, over AJ Dybantsa.
I do?
Yeah, that was the whole thing last week. I was like, even over AJ, and you were like, yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess the bit lives on.
So is Darren Peterson being taken first in the draft? This video is brought to you by NBA2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. And they're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
Please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New York.
New York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado
is. It's in Colorado. There's a state of Colorado.
Is that this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video.
No, AJ Dybantsa is.
But Darren Peterson's better than AJ Dybantsa right now.
No, I don't think he's better than him right now.
But okay, we just want Darren at number one. Should AJ Dybantsa be the number one player in this class?
Yes.
Okay, that's where we're at. Okay. I'm gonna just take notes on it. I'll see if I can keep trying to figure this out. AJ continues surprising me. Maybe you weren't surprised by the dominant reports from him at this camp. I was a little bit, and I think I've been a Dybantsa skeptic a little tiny little bit. Um, I'm impressed with the game, whatever. The clips that came out of him just torching LJ Case and everybody else are like special. He clearly is way, way, way better right away than I expected. But the part that I like the most from this is my biggest criticism of AJ this entire time has been that I don't like things that I've seen from him in the way he approaches the mentality side to the game. I think I've seen more clips of him in the high school ranks, sort of being unserious on the court. Somebody put together that like 4 minute clip of him whining and just like, I don't know. It never felt all that serious. It felt more like I'm gonna go get my 30, do my thing for IG, and get out of here. I'm the number one player in the class. I like that the very first thing with no hesitation when he's asked about things, he's talking about winning. I haven't heard AJ Dybantsa talk like this. And maybe I just haven't heard enough. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's always been wired like this. But I have not associated the word winner with AJ Dybantsa ever, even if I respect him as the best player in this class. If that is how he's approaching the season, it's awesome. It's also fascinating to hear a number one pick potential guy talk about it that way. Like going through the past couple years, even Cooper Flagg, who had the reputation of being like an all out competitor, number one winner, he didn't talk about it that way. It's like, oh, how am I going to get to number one? I'm going to win, and that's going to show people. And honestly, Card, I think AJ is right. That's the compelling part of this for me because if AJ Dybantsa is able to lead BYU to a national championship or even just to a Final Four, while say Darren Peterson finishes like fourth in the Big 12. I don't know what's going to happen at Duke. They're probably going to win the ACC because it's easy. But if he sort of just becomes the winner, which has been Cam Boozer's role this entire time, how can you even knock Dybantsa at that point, right? The only possible criticism you can have of him is the one I've had, that I don't think it translates to winning. So I think he's dead on. He's kind of self-aware here. If I win, there's zero questions about me being the best player in this class.
I mean, that's honestly, you bring up a great point because even in these conversations, they talk about, oh, but Cam Boozer, how's Dybantsa the best player when Cam Boozer wins everything he's at? Like
Right.
that's definitely a conversation that happens. So I do think that there could be some things that are put to bed by him going here and doing that and winning the national championship. And like you couldn't even begin to state the impact that that would be. Like AJ Dybantsa kind of goes against the norm, goes to BYU and brings them a national championship.
Yeah.
That'd be absolutely insane. Also, shout out to Tyler Muirs for quote tweeting this and saying it's going to be scary this year. I promise you that.
I love that too. It was special. Do you think if we hooked AJ Dybantsa up to a lie detector test right now and offered him basically on this side, you could be the number one overall pick? That's it. Or on this side, you win a national championship, but you're the number three pick. What do you think AJ would take?
I think he would take national championship in third pick.
Really?
I do. Yeah,
So you think this is all totally real?
I do.
I hope so.
Tune into his YouTube video to find out.
I will.